What's going on, everyone? I'm Jaren, and today we are talking about John Wick Chapter 4. The well-rounded stuntman of Hollywood, Chad Stahelski, is back behind the director's chair for Chapter 4, and my god, he's definitely pulled out all the stops to top the last John Wick movie. Keanu Reeves reprises his role as John Wick. Oh, you know he's back, as well as our supporting characters played by Lance Reddick, Ian McShane, and Lawrence Fishburne. And we also have a stacked supporting cast, including Donnie Yen, Scott Adkins, Bill Skarsgård, Hiroyuki Sanada, Shamir Anderson, and Rina Sawayama. And unlike the last movie, we actually have a plot. John Wick uncovers the path to defeating the High Table, but before he could earn his freedom, he must face off a new enemy with powerful alliances across the globe and forces that will turn old friends into enemies. This was hands down everything I wanted out of Parabellum, and quite possibly the closest American films will ever get to my all out favorite action film of all time, The Raid 2. The narrative has a sense of finality, the stakes are higher, the supporting cast is just as colorful as our main lead, and the action has outdone and scaled itself to a whole different level. Picking up directly where we left off in Chapter 3, John Wick is pissed off, and he is going up against new threats sent from the High Table. Leading the charge would have to be the Marquis de Gramont. He is not physically capable of going toe to toe with John, but he gets shit done faster than the Adjudicator in Part 3. And once again, Bill Skarsgård's performance just delivers the right amount of charm and sadism, the same way he did with Pennywise the Clown. We also have Donnie Yen playing a character named Kane, who's basically Matt Murdock without the Daredevil suit. Him and John have a little bit of history, but once these two end up crossing paths, they have some of the most jaw-dropping, choreographed sequences of gun fu with or against each other. You get to slowly peel away at Kane's personal conflict to the point where you're also cheering him on when he decides to oppose our main character, but also the little details involving some of the comedic gestures between him and Reeves really adds onto their rapport. Representing the Osaka Continental, we have Hiroyuki Sanada, who was a wonderful addition to this franchise. Just like Halle Berry and Ruby Rose in the previous installments, I wanted more of them. We also have Rina Sawayama, who is a Japanese British pop star, making her film acting debut and performing her own stunts. That was a lot of commitment. And there was a lot of her characterization that was left to be desired, so I honestly wouldn't mind if we had a whole different spin off with just her as our main focus. Shamir Anderson, who played Mr. Nobody, aka the Tracker, was a surprise talent here. I really liked his character, especially the way he would travel everywhere with his German Shepherd, how prepared he was, how he would be a little bit cheeky, and how trigger happy. And I was a little bit irritated at how he would go back and forth on either helping or targeting Mr. Wick. It kind of reminded me of the character Spider from Avatar The Way of Water. Plus, if Donnie Yen's character was also doing the same thing, the motivations felt very clustered. Scott Adkins was in a fat suit. Ian McShane had some serious teeth work done. Lawrence Fishburne had little to work with this time around. And Lance Reddick, you are a treasure. I was very touched that they were able to add in his commemoration on the screen for one last time, considering his short passing before the release of this film. I know he would have wanted to be here for that. Rest in love, Sir Reddick. From one solid action set piece to the next, I really enjoyed the prolonged battle at the Osaka Continental, the way they utilized the setting into sections of who to focus on in the fights, as well as there was this gunfight that happens in a building in which you actually get to see the action from above. That framework was just very pristine. There's also France's Arc de Triomphe, where the fight happens in the middle of a traffic heavy roundabout, and that was difficult to watch with all the impact. There's also the Sacré Coeur. I hope I said that right, but it is a steep stairway with over 200 steps that definitely look like it took over weeks to shoot. And not only is it considering like coordinating the scene, but to push the stamina of the actors and stunt doubles was insane for this one. It was no kidding that the geniuses behind the camera wanted to top everything that they've done in the franchise by far. And I gotta say, with something as simple as gun battles and the hand to hand combat, it was getting a little fatigued and tiresome, especially by chapter 3. But somehow here, we were able to get a variety with not just some of the set pieces that I talked about, but with the arsenal as well, including sword fights, axe battles, vehicular warfare, bow and arrows, and especially with a scene where we have a TTI Dracary's Gen 12 that spits dragon's rounds breath. I want that. Any gripes I would have about this movie would probably stem of what I already had with this entire franchise. And one would probably be the line delivery, and especially when it's coming from Reeves or from the villainous characters, a lot of the things that they would say would either sound philosophical or very, very corny. Also, uh, the amount of disbelief that this universe asks its audience, especially when it comes to dodging bullets or cheating death. I understand that John Wick is wearing a bulletproof suit, but I swear to you, the amount of hitmen that come after him have the shittiest aim compared to stormtroopers. Overall, for a nearly 3 hour runtime, the narrative and pacing is a breeze, earning itself as an epic. I would definitely lower your expectations when it comes to the high praise of the best action movie of all time. I'm sorry, but Asian cinema has got us beat. Don't get me wrong, though, this is still the best installment out of the four. And also, don't forget to stick around for the end credits because I saw a lot of people walking out of my auditorium and they missed out. Last but not least, take the ending with a grain of salt because there may or may not be a part 5 in the future. Keanu Reeves and the director have definitely spoken up in interviews and are saying that a fifth installment is in the cards, but because they've only been working on John Wick movies in the past decade, they want to take a big, well deserved break from it. They don't want to feel like they got to repeat themselves because if they do come back, they are going to have to top everything that they've done in this movie, from action to characters to storytelling to just everything about this. If they decide not to return to this was a solid conclusion to the John Wick saga. Alright, guys, that's all I got to share about that movie. Please go ahead and check it out in theaters when you can because it is freaking awesome. I'm Jaren Ugbanawag. Look forward to more reviews, guys. Thank you guys again so much for watching, and I'll see you guys at the movies. Take care. When I see you, I'ma take what I want, so yeah, you ain't real. Y'all feel the wrath of